Hey, welcome to On Purpose. I want to start by just checking with you and asking you how you're doing today.
Thanks for having me. I think that's the hardest question to answer. There's really no right answer to that. I think the best thing I can say to that is I'm doing okay. I have my harder days and I have my better days. I think each day, it doesn't get so much better, but each day I'm just trying my best. And I think even just trying my best makes me feel that little bit better. This has just been such a roller coaster of emotions. And I'm really trying my best. Like I said, that's the hardest question to really put into words to answer.
No, and yeah. I wanted to start off by, and I was sharing this with you when you first arrived, but I wanted to share my prayers, my condolences to yourself, to Liam, his family, friends, the fans all across the world. Like, just my prayers for him and for everyone who loves him, because it's such a loss that you feel. I remember the day it happened, and me and my whole team, it was something that impacted everyone. And I wanted to ask you why you felt that you wanted to come here to speak about this, and why right now, and why this was appropriate timing for you to want to share some of this story.
It's been just, like I said, a roller coaster, and you give this such a sense of comfort. And I do want to be able to use my voice and be able to share my story, as this has impacted me so much and changed my life forever. And you give this sense of comfort and sincerity that I genuinely feel like I would be just, and I am so comfortable speaking and sharing my story with you. And if there's any opportunity and chance for me to help other people that are dealing with grief, mental health, anything like that, I really want to be able to help. And even though right now I'm not an expert, I don't think anybody can really be an expert at that, but I'm going through this day by day, and I'm teaching and learning, teaching myself how to better myself. And I think if I could give anybody advice and help other people, then I would love to be able to do that.
Well, I want to acknowledge how brave that is and how commendable that is. And again, I'm grateful that you're here and giving us the opportunity to hopefully help so many people as well, and hopefully do it from a place of peace for yourself. So the last few months for you have been drastically different and changed your life, as you mentioned just now. But before we dive into that, I wanted to focus on who Kate was before Liam, before this, so that we can understand you a bit more and your journey. So talk to me about Kate.
So grew up in New Jersey. I actually am half British. My mom's from England. So I do have a ton of family in England.
Where in England?
She grew up in a town called Edmonton. I'm not too familiar.
That is so close to where I grew up.
Really?
Yeah, if we're talking about the same Edmonton.
Yeah, I do have some family in England on my mom's side. Grew up in New Jersey. After I graduated high school, I kind of immediately moved out of the house pretty much. I went to a college in South Carolina called Coastal Carolina University, graduated there after 4 years, moved to Charleston, South Carolina. I think after college, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do with work or with even my life. I think it was still kind of that, I went to college. I had such a great experience. I met so many great people. I'm so glad I have a degree. And I didn't know, though, what I wanted to do. Some people obviously go to college for law school, medical school. They kind of know what path they're taking. I kind of went to college just saying, okay, I know at some point it's going to click. Like, I know what I want to do, but I still didn't really understand what I wanted to do in life. So moved to Charleston with a bunch of my friends. My friends were all kind of in the same boat too. We were all just kind of like, all right, let's just take one day at a time. We all graduated college. We're all kind of almost in a way like lost. We don't know what to do. College is over. Now what? Now it's like the real life, the real big girl life. And moved to Charleston all together, and took some time there just to focus on myself. And I ended up a couple months later getting this waitressing job at this restaurant, lounge, bar place. And that's where on my second week of working, I met Liam. And that day has changed my life forever. And it was, I'm such a believer in everything happens for a reason. And I've talked about this previously in the past, but it's just so weird how sometimes the dots all connect, because I tried so hard to get off work already my second week. I told my friend, because my friend was the one who owned the restaurant, and I told her I wanted to balance my social life with work life. So I just said to her, I want to work every other weekend, because it was only a weekend shift. So it was Thursday to Sunday. So I told her I want to work every other weekend. And then week 2 came about and she put my name on the schedule. And I remember calling her and I was like, wait, I thought I wasn't working back-to-back weekends. And she was like, we really need you. Like, it's just our second week of opening. It was brand new. I tried so hard to get off. And I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. So I went in and I met Liam that same night. And it's just crazy because if I did get off that night, I never would have met him. So yeah, met him that night. I was his server and it all started from there.
Thank you for sharing that. I wanted people to have context of, you know, where you've come from as well. And I can't believe me and your mum have Edmonton in common. That's still blowing my mind.